YouTube, hello Twitch. My name is Plazukas, and I have taken a long break over the course of the last month to figure out what I want to do for my channel in the future. I used to play mobile games exclusively. That's kind of what I was doing before I transitioned back into console gaming. After buying the Switch 2 and playing through some of the old catalog, which I had a great time, I just felt like it was a very limited experience for someone that's been playing games for as long as I have. And then obviously I played Death Stranding 2, had a good time, played about 40 hours of that total, and thought that that experience was good. But again, very limited. And as someone who really does enjoy online games, at least the last 10 years, that has been really what I've been most interested in, is that engagement, playing Destiny 2 for over 4,000 hours. I switched over to mobile to try to find something that invigorated me, that enticed me, that also provided a little bit of a dopamine drip as far as like gambling and stuff like that. Like I enjoy that aspect of logging in and getting something that you weren't expecting, and then just having the game value your time that you spend in it. And obviously, whenever you're dealing with live service games, online games, that's an ebb and flow. There are two specific games that I used to play: Final Fantasy War of the Visions, Brave Exvius from Square Enix, that shut down recently. And I had spent countless hours playing that game, spent countless amounts of money. There was a game called Harry Potter Magic Awakened that I played for countless hours again that closed down. So there are many cases where these games just go away, and it's unfortunate, and I hope that people do sign the petition to save games, to make them have an offline mode going in the future, so that when you invest in these things and these ecosystems, there's a way for private servers, there's a way for an offline mode to play these games. I think that is a expectation that should be met. Now, let's talk about the other aspect of video games that have discouraged me. Anime games, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, all these new games that are coming out from the China market, from the Asian market, that are anime inspired. I played them, and I justified them for a very long time. Epic 7, and so many other examples, and I can't anymore. They are pornographic. They are children influenced to the point where they're overly sexualized, and they should be regulated and banned outright. I know Steam is banning certain adult games now because of the companies don't want to do the transactions anymore. And I don't think they'll do that for any of the big games like Hoyoverse games and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, these games lean heavily on the sexual appeal rather than they do anything else. And it's very upsetting to me. And I was like, well, what am I going to do going forward in the mobile space? Because I enjoyed Honkai Star Rail for the turn-based aspect of it. I enjoyed Epic 7 for the turn-based aspect of it. And I justified those two until they went and went over the line. And I'll be honest, they went over the line long before I ever stopped playing those games. They just did. But I kept on playing them because I didn't mind the kits, and I just enjoyed the daily logging in, clicking the buttons, getting the achievements, and progressing. I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed that aspect of live service online games. I'm upset that Sony has not published a really good live service game that I want to be a part of, that has PvP or online, aspects to it that feel like they're actually mattering. You can say, Helldivers is a perfect example of that, but to me, that's a very narrative-based online community, which I think is fine for what that game is, but I'm just not interested in spending all my time if the investment doesn't feel like it's actually going to merit that. So a lot of these mobile games, they have extra microtransactions on top of the progression to entice you, and that is upsetting. And trust me, any games that I play on stream are bad. They're predatory, and most likely while you're playing them, you're going to spend money. Period. I do, you will. And this is why I want to say that the games that I do play, I will take sponsors for. I've never taken a sponsor for a game in my life, but I will in the future if an option becomes available. I will take a sponsor from them, but that will never sway my opinion of a game. And so I know you can see the title of this video, YouTube, Twitch, right? I'm playing Marvel Strike Force, and I've been playing it for about a week. But I played this game previously, and then I stopped playing for a while. And there was no reason why I stopped playing other than just feeling like I had to spend money, right? And I think that's what happens when you get to these mobile games. You just hit a wall and you feel like you have to spend money to justify it. And I still feel that way in Marvel Strike Force. It's not a perfect game. But what it has provided me in the last week and then previously is a game that I feel like I can safely play and not have to fear being, literally put on my face, CP or pornographic material to justify its existence. I want a game that just leans heavily on its turn-based action, story, characters, themes, and then have it be live service and progress. Like, it's very simple. And what Marvel Strike Force does is more than that. It's a 7-year-old game that's been around forever. I hope, and I'm very, very worried that at any given time these games could shut down, and most likely they will. But I'm going to try to invest into this game again. And so I've spent a lot of time. I've also been playing DC Worlds Collide. Again, another very heavily monetized game. There's no dispute in that. I can't deny that. And if you play that game, you're going to feel like you're incentivized to spend money. And I have. But that game's really good the longer you play it because of how well they've done the animations. And yes, it's an auto turn-based, pick a position, pick a couple different archetypes with tank, support, and DPS, and then kind of like auto battle it out. There's ways for you to manual some of this stuff to probably progress a little easier and for timing purposes, but I don't. I just put on auto and let the game decide after I've, built up my squad and got lucky essentially from the random generator. And I haven't even been that lucky in the game, but I've progressed considerably in the pool that I'm in because now games segment you into pools, so you don't feel like you're, in an ocean of whales, which you are, because whales will exist in every one of these mobile games that allow you to spend to progress. But I'm fine with that because for me, it's time, it's investment, it's knowledge. And that's what I've gained from Marvel Strike Force, again, after playing it. And I didn't want to do the content in the stream until I actually felt like I was pretty familiar with this game again. And so let me just say right off the bat, okay, that this game requires you to be on its website, marvelstrikeforce.com. It requires you to be on Discord because they provide codes that are limited in quantity, and you want the codes if you're going to even remain and play this game. They support you by logging in every single day, and there's actual valuable reasons to do so in this game that is tied to the economy and for you not to have to spend so much money. If you don't do that, it will literally incentivize even more money you have to spend. And that doesn't even mean that if you do all the things that I'm saying, that it's a perfect experience. It isn't, because there are things that are limited in this game, including leveling up your, characters, which is a very big part of the power progression in the game and how you get stronger. They've tied that to leveling, which is annoying. And then they've had artificial requirements for certain characters, certain teams, certain power levels that are not associated with your level, but are essentially another gateway that requires progression and is gated. So that's unfortunate, but I don't want games that are easy. This is the reason why I'm upset with Sony PlayStation. Their first-party games all have a mandate to be story-driven so that they're accessible to everybody. I don't think games should be accessible to everybody. You know, if you want to spend your time on something, you should be rewarded. You should feel like you're doing something within that community that is a competitive or a challenging experience. If it's just there just for you to click some boxes and waste some time, I don't understand that philosophy. I understand that, like, if it's your wind down game or whatever else, fine. There's plenty of games that I think can exist that are not these, that are not AAA experiences specifically, that are these like overarching games like Death Stranding 2 or that are $300 million products. You would say, well, because they're AAA, they should be, exclusive to everybody, so everybody would buy them. Okay, maybe that is a justification for something like that specifically. But I would think after you spend that much time on something as developers, you would want the challenge to be there so that people can remember it from it, And I do remember Death Stranding 2, even though it was an easy game, but because it was, cinematically rich and there were aspects of the world and the traversal that I was like really enamored by. And those two things I remember it by. I do not remember it by the accomplishment of combat or traversal as far as challenging for my cargo. Like all that stuff was pretty like remedial at this point in this game, which is supposed to be a part of it. But we're going to be setting up for a reset here in 5 minutes, which is why I started streaming. There are 2 codes. I don't know if they're already on the description or not, but you can go to either, I believe it's on the website, and Discord's a really good place to go for codes. But one of them is, and they're all capital letters, by the way, are these. These are the 2 codes that are currently available inside the game. There are other codes that you can go look for. Not all of them are going to work because this game has very time-limited codes. This game, more than most, requires you to be active. They want you to be in this game every day. Doesn't mean you have to be in for 5 hours, but they want you to be here for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the least, if not more. And I don't think that's asking too much if you're playing a game. Obviously, it'll take away other games that you can play. But I think that will weed out the people who really want to play this game and who don't want to play this game. And I think that means that the community here, whatever's here right now, obviously they're here because they've invested money and maybe that's part of it as well and they feel trapped. But I think a lot of them are here because they enjoy the game like I do. I enjoy the game. I enjoyed the game a long time ago, and then it got bought by Disney, and I was like, oh, it's going to close down. And it never did, and it's still here. So I'm going to give it a chance. I want to play the game. I want to actually invest in this experience. So this is where we're at. 4 minutes until reset. I'm just going to do the bells and whistles. I'm going to be this kind of streamer. I'm not going to talk to you about my personal life. I'm not going to parasocialize with you. I'm not going to try to, develop this relationship with you. I'm going to play my video game. And I don't care what kind of viewers I get. This is not about growing a community per se. It never has been for any of the stuff that I've ever done. It's about doing content for content's sake. There have been times where I've tried different things to see what works, but ultimately, I'm a gamer. I love to play games. And I don't have to stream them to play them, obviously, and I don't predominantly. And I play them offline all the time, not only on stream, and that will never change. I do feel like there's an opportunity here. I don't really want to promote games either per se, but I do think that this is a game that deserves some form of attention because of how long it's existed, and although it is greedy, and although it is a mobile game, it does things extremely well in a live service sense, and I've been very impressed by it. I've been very impressed by it overall, and the more I get into the systems, and the more it appreciates the time that I spend in it, the more I have to reciprocate that, in my opinion. So I want to promote it to the best of my ability. So that's why I'm gonna do a stream on it today for the reset. And there's supposed to be a pretty big reset. And for me, as someone who has not really played the the game a lot through the 7 years. I'm trying to catch up on a lot of things. So I have a lot of things to do. I have a lot of things to manage, which is fine by me. I enjoy that aspect of it. So just those two codes specifically were released within the last couple hours. I recommend if you play this game to always seek out codes. That is part of the way that you can buck the system and not have to spend so much money or money at all. I mean, if you can manage not having to spend money and just taking it day by day, that is ideal. But I never make those kind of declarations because I do believe that these games are intentionally made, and it's not just this game; it's all the games. So fair is fair, right? Fair is fair. I just got done playing. I bought a new iPad, and I set up a Backbone, and I actually modded it to. Well, I didn't mod it. I deconstructed it to work on an iPad. I actually expanded it. I bought a thing online that makes it longer, so I can basically construct it to work. And I was playing Call of Duty Mobile on my iPad, and that game has so many different monetization schemes on it as well. And I'm not even sure if the weapons were all cosmetic or if they actually had power involved in them. I'm sure PUBG does the same thing. Like, and it has like so many active viewers and it's making them so much money. Listen, we're living in a world where all these people are greedy. And I'm not saying that Marvel Strike Force is the best one, but it is no different. And therefore, I do think that it deserves some consideration, considering it is a Marvel property that really does take care with the IP. And the way it cross-markets itself is very similar to Snap. And I think this is a mandate from Marvel now, Marvel Games, whenever there's a new movie coming out. And like they've been having this whole Fantastic Four MCU thing, which could have been a disaster to be. It could feel generic, but it doesn't. It feels like a premium thing, like a premium integration. And they continue to have these events, which does help promote. It's part of the media blitz as well for these games as well. Trust me, I understand that. All right, so we're at reset, so I'm just going to focus now on this and do this, All right, so there's a new season pass, which in this game happens every 2 weeks, which is crazy, obviously. And I'm glad and you get 100 just off the top. Okay, so that's pretty generous. I didn't realize that it reset every 2 weeks. I think this is $20 a piece, so it'd be like $40 to. I'm just trying to get it, like, because I'm familiar with a lot of systems in the game, but because this has been an actual reset for some of the stuff, I'm gonna have to get my bearings on this because I've only been with the game for like 7-10 days, something like that, right? Let me just check this, see if there's anything here. I can't do this. I'm in a new alliance. I just got into this alliance like 2 days ago. Very good alliance, by the way. Whoever invited me, I appreciate that. I will obviously be communicating with you in the future. We're going to have an alliance war here, and it'll be my first one in a very long time. Like I used to play ATX Avengers. Whoever invited me to this alliance, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I just got a lot of rewards from the last time we completed the raids because I've never completed on that difficulty, and it really helped my account progression, by the way. But there's a lot of different events that are happening right now. I don't know what's happening here. I think something got added to this. Let's see. So this is gonna, okay, so, all right, so this remains. Play Fantastic Force campaign. Okay. Okay, so here's the new campaign. Ends in 30 days. This ends in 13. This ends in 44. The question is, do we actually lose out on the other thing? The Flash stuff. This just expanded even more, it looks like. I don't know. See, a lot of this stuff is like, ugh. But it's not that complicated. It's just a lot of stuff here. So it wants me to compete in this. And it actually has different currency than the last two. So that's 3 different events going on right now inside the game, which provides a lot of additional resources, which is extremely beneficial. I just want to let you know that this team that I have was bought through I think a part of the game that's available to everybody. It's like a quick progression system. It's called Time Heist, and it can get you all the way to 100. And I'm just going to say this. If you're free to play, I get it. And I'm not sponsored by anybody. I get it. And if you want to remain free to play in all your mobile games, I get it. But if you are ever going to spend money on a game like Marvel Strike Force specifically, buy that stuff. If you're starting out and you have that available to you at the beginning, it's probably going to cost you. If you do it, I would even. There's like one at level 98 that I think if you buy the 95 bundle, wow, you just got 12. You just got 12K training materials. That's a lot of training materials, by the way. That is very generous. That's very generous. That is an extremely generous amount. They probably only give it once. There's probably one at 98, level 98, the Time Heist one, that's not worth it. But then subjectively, you get Deadpool, you get a lot of other characters as well at that level. But the 95 one, you have to have in order to do the 98, 100 one. But the 100 one is most definitely worth it. That is worth it for sure. So that, I mean, so you have those two plus the 65 one, which I think you have to do in order. That's $140 right there. Okay, that's a lot of money. I get that. Games are $80 now. If this is all you buy for the rest of the year, it can probably satiate you for a while. I'm not saying forever because these games are meant for you to support them on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. But then you'd be buying new games on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And this is what live service is all about. It is about basically circumventing those purchases into this purchase. That's what Destiny 2 did when I played Destiny 2. This is what this game is trying to do. So you can look at it and say, they're bad, they shouldn't exist, and I would agree with you. However, okay, this is just a regular times 80. Oh, but they are giving you the thing. They're giving you shards, man. This is very generous. And again, this is cross-marketing promotions for the new MCU movie. And if you know anything about marketing budgets, they're very expensive. Companies will spend 50, 100, sometimes for whatever reason, they'll spend $250 million to market their products, their movies, their hardware. And I don't know if Marvel is allowing, developers that make these kind of games, the Marvel games, Marvel Snap, Marvel Strike Force, to not have to pay licensing for this particular thing. I don't know what kind of services that are back and forth between these companies, but you would think that there would be a beneficial relationship because of how much it can benefit the entire ecosystem and people wanting to go see the movie. For me, it's not really necessary because I'll see the movie regardless because I'm pretty satisfied with superheroes. Like, I don't really need a lot. Thunderbolts was great. It was a nice change of pace for the previous, phases. And I think we're gonna continue that trajectory as far as being darker and a little bit more adult oriented. If you believe I guess it's been confirmed. Bernthal in the Punisher role in the Spider-Man movie. That already indicates that it's going to be darker without anything. So we just completed this. I mean, these rewards right here that you're just getting. And what was this? What is this? What is that? You're getting a costume right off the bat. That is generous. That is generous. Period. It is. It's just very generous. And it's nice and it's flavorful. And maybe I think this is going to be released weekly, so maybe that's it for this week. There is only so many attempts you can do per week, per day. Okay, let's see. All right, so yeah, Act 1. So there's going to be more acts spread throughout the entirety of this. This was already there. So there'll be more of these coming into the game. We completed that objective, so therefore it'll give us a lot of rewards. These are a lot of rewards. These are substantial. And then it didn't add anything here. Let's just claim all those. And then we're going to get more on the back end here with this. This should give me to, so people that already got it early. So now I'm going to get some of it on the tail end. That's still a lot. That's way more than I thought I was going to get right now. I mean, I'm very happy about this. And then I'm just looking here to see what are the other opportunities here. So I think people who pay are going to get a lot more regardless. Like all of this stuff is pretty much, I don't think there's a way for free-to-play players to get all of that. Like this and this. I think at some point before this ends, because this is still 2 weeks away, something did fall off though. What fell off here? It looks like, okay, the hood stuff fell off, but this stuff's still in the game. Spend campaign energy period, and this reset. Okay, so we did lose the other one. Which is a little bit weird, right? Because that had indicated that it would remain, I think. I'm not sure what this, I thought that had more date. I thought I had more time on it, but I don't really know how this all works. And I think, oh, so it's reset the unstable cells. Yeah, this is a little bit weird. I'm not going to lie. Play with gear, tier 90 Quasar. So it's promoting the Quasar build, which it does for every one of these things. With Franklin, play, not sim. Okay, so they actually corrected this for the next one. There was a bug for, and they took it out of I think they took it out, right? So they don't even have, yeah, they took that whole thing out. They've reset that whole thing, which I was pretty happy to benefit from, to be honest. I saw a developer. This game really does promote you to watch content creators, go to Discord, go to their website. I'm telling you, it's all interconnected, and it's done pretty well. And it's very generous in that sense. All right, so this is a new one. The hood rises for the new milestone. Let's see what this has for options. Now that I'm becoming familiar with the game, I can kind of go through this a little bit easier. Let's just see what the milestone rewards are. 5 is not a lot. 5. It just seems very, I mean, all these right here, these currencies are fine. These are, you kind of want these. They're not the best currencies. This is actually a pretty, I mean, it's not, listen, you're going to need these at some point anyway, but for what it is, and what is this? Okay, that's actually not bad. These are needed, but a lot of times all these generate are these materials. They don't generate the actual rare ones, which is annoying. The rate at which you get the rare ones, the ones you actually need, it's probably worth it just for the orbs. There's quite a bit of orbs here. So you're going to get something from this. Armory 15 is kind of lame. Let's see what it requires you to actually do. Okay. Collect unstable. Okay, so that's another unstable one. Hopefully this time it actually, you know, credits you for this, because the last one I think was a little bit iffy. Battle and raid with Thunderbolt team. There's a limit here. This one's a pretty high limit. What's the milestone? So you could, technically, if you could, I don't know if you can, and this lasts for 6 days. I don't know how they justify that. But you could just do arena runs, and it would work. Theoretically. Battle and raid with Thunderbolt team at 5 yellow stars, so you get more points. This is just a quicker way to do it. Battle and raid. And most likely, I'll be honest with you, you're going to have to do some form of this to get to the end of that. But I would actually say this is a weaker one in some aspects. Like this, okay, so the higher end here one, obviously these are better. These are just straight up better. Yeah, like that one's a better one. This one's a better one, I believe, too. Yep. So at this rate, when you actually get to this level here, these are the kind of ones you do want. So it's locked behind what you would consider premium, which is unfortunate. But, you know, it is the way this game. It's good because it incentivizes people who invest time. It incentivizes people who invest money, obviously. But there's ways to get some of this, not all of it. And I'm not even sure if there's a way to get this free to play. I'm not. We're going to figure it out, I think, at some point. I don't think I have any of the Thunderbolt teams. But here's the good news about this game. This game is very organized. More organized than you thought it was. And there's actually a way to look at all this stuff online and build your teams online. There's MarvelStrikeForce.com has your profile on there. And it's so much better than you think it is. And I can't stress that. It just is. So if you go here and you go Thunderbolt, okay, you get Thunderbolt traits, which is going to be everybody that's in a Thunderbolt team, period. And this is what this is asking for. I don't have anybody, really. I have the originals, Ghost and Taskmaster, but they're not leveled up. These were the other 3 that were released a little while ago. I didn't know Victoria Hand. I guess she was part of the team. Like, it's kind of weird, right? Hyperion. We didn't even get to see Hyperion. So the Thunderbolts team, we haven't really been introduced to. And I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but... So that's the Thunderbolts team. We're probably not going to be able to do that. We're probably not going to do that. Because, I mean, the amount of resources... So this is coming back. I never got Old Man Logan. I didn't know Old Man Logan was in the game. I think it's really cool that they're tying that in. Gold bursts, if you need gold, which at some point, even with my gold, I'm going to need gold. It's an unfortunate thing. It is another way for them to limit you. And this has been the Thunderbolt team of 5 is collecting. Usually you have to do all of them to reach the max of that milestone. So, and which is the premium side, obviously. And then if you spend money and stuff like that, you get unlimited. You usually get unlimited tracking. What does it say? Fantastic finding this team. The Fantastic Team Showcase event has begun. The event has 2 components: a story mode and a brand new tower to explore. That's cool. Fantastic experience the epic conclusion of their story and battle your way through the tower. See the requirements. The Fantastic Four you need. Invisible Woman MCU. I don't have her. I have Fantastic Four. I don't have Franklin Richards. Along with the updated Human Torch and the Thing to fight you along. So they were updated recently. I didn't know the Human Torch and the Thing were updated. So it might have been remastered or whatever else. I don't. So you need all of them or you need 4 of them? So you can interchange one or the other? A team of 5. So you need all of them. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if we can possibly... A lot of these require you to build them. It's a lot of resources. It requires you to spend money. I'm not willing to do that per se, unless it's characters that I really like. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the game right now. This is a very big update, and I have a lot of decisions to make, and I most likely will make some of the wrong ones. I'm not going to lie. So I'm getting these. These are already orbs that I don't have to spend. They're just in my inventory. I have no reason to hold them. I don't know why you would. Probably for luck-based stuff, but, you know, here it is. Let's see. Again, a lot of these will give you, like, this is a rarer one. This is a rarer one. I'm getting 10 for, these are all rarer. These are all, like, actual ones that you need for specific classes to upgrade. They're the rarest of the rare. And then, you know, you get a good percentage of all these, which is what was in the beginning of the milestones. So this is how it kind of works. But it's a pretty good, like, I have 70K of these, which is not the most I've had of this. It's been really generous for me, but I think this resource is pretty rare. So you have to be, it's not like, it depends on how active you are. If you're in an alliance, a lot of those things, then that resource gets even rarer, right? So just so you know. But there's a lot of good things that they've added to this to use that resource that you would normally have to spend money for. So there's ways to progress. I think we're going to open a premium orb, which pretty good still. Premium orbs, they're the OG, and they're okay. They're okay. They're not like the best, and I wouldn't. Even if you see that, they're not the best. They're not the best thing to pull on, because they have just a very hard loot table. This one, again, this is like a premium, but I think it has a specific pool to it. It might have a higher rate, or maybe it's all orbs. Sometimes you can pull 50 out of there. That's the max I believe you can pull out of this one. Training orbs is where you want to be, man. You get any of these, this is where you want to be. This is one of the hardest resources to get inside the game, and it really does limit your progression because the more level you are, the stronger you are in this game specifically. All right, so here we go. What do we got? We got Armory 18s, which I need all of this stuff. I still need, I'm in need of a lot of it. And then, oh, that was 19, I'm sorry. All right, 19, what else do we get? We got some ability orbs. These are important for, you know, different abilities to be maxed out, and the maxed out abilities of some of these characters are super important for different builds. I'm going to come here first because it's a reset for the shop. I'm trying to look for, I would maybe buy this because Black Cat's apparently black and she's pretty broken. Like, she was helping me out. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody. I don't think I have anybody at 7 stars that I have found yet to actually. I don't have a diamond character yet. All these are very event exclusive. Franklin Richards is now, I think he might have been available before, but his 3 stars was not available, I think, from the milestone. I wonder if I got the payout for that as well. I'll have to go look at that in a second. Spider-Woman, right now I'm doing all of these just to kind of like progress them and to get them up on their stars. I've had enough resources to do this for whatever reason. Obviously, I bought the time heist thing, so I think that provided me quite a bit of this resource. I'm not sure if it was the entire thing. There's some of them I'm going to skip on because I don't have like infinite amount of this resource, and I'm looking for specific ones that I have not found in this yet. And I was being pretty stupid early on with refreshing some of this stuff. I'm not trying to be that bad. Let's see. No. I don't think any of these are gonna get. Yeah, again, these are not the ones, so they have not provided me with the actual characters that I want to diamond up. I am trying to get some 7 stars for, because there's actual like OG characters that I don't have at 7 stars. All right, so I leveled up here. I get another one of her shard. And I haven't even been able to fight. Oh, I wonder if that's still, I have to look at that as well. Let me see if that's still in the game. It would be under events. Did they take it out? Okay, they didn't take it out, thankfully. So this is still here. And I just unlocked this, and because they gave you 100 shards for Hood, and then I got enough for Satana. So I'm trying to complete these, but these are difficult. Like, you need a pretty good team, and you can only bring the actual curse team in here. So it's kind of difficult. Okay, this one's a different event. All right, let's see what this says. Okay, so this is one of these ones, which I've struggled with initially. And then I kind of learned how to do it during the... I learned how to do this event with the Apocalypse one that was out here. I think it still is. So this comes in a day. So there's going to be more towers, but it doesn't start for 3 days, which is fine. It's going to start just before the movie. Yeah, again, cross-promotional stuff. But let me just show you. I didn't really realize how to do that until this event here. This event was teaching me how to climb, well, not that specifically, but to get the character shards, like I had to do this. So I didn't really understand how to min-max it, but I do know how to do it now. And I think it's a really cool system, because if you have a strong team, and I'm not saying that this will be the case because what I did was older, so I'm sure they're going to limit me. But if you have a pretty strong team, you don't have to complete all the runs to get the max reward. which would be, in this case, so you can fight for the leaderboards, obviously, but you're looking for milestones in this case. So your milestone at your first is 160,000, which you're going to get purple gear raid from it. All blues, that's a red star, blues. This is not bad, it's just not great. How far do they go up here? How far did they max it? 2.5. Again, we're talking about these specifically. It's probably exactly what's needed for Quasar. This is probably all the stuff he's needed to max him out, if I'm being honest. So all these would max him out, or you can use it for some other character. It's meant to push you to use it for him. So so what you'd want to do is, in the team that you build, well, you can use your entire roster to complete it, I believe. What is this? A new avatar. So this is cosmetic only. I like that. Not all of them are cosmetic only, by the way. Some of them are very much stuff that can make you more powerful. Okay, this is cool. So again, we're looking for a 2.4. So like I was saying, like if you max this out, okay, then what this is saying is that if you get to the end of this, which means all of the challenges, all of the boards, your expected total would be this. But you're not going to be able to get to the end of this, most likely, because guess what? You're not going to have the team that's required. So let's enter and see what is the requirement. And I know this has been data mined and stuff like that, and maybe as I go further, I'll know all this stuff beforehand, but I didn't look at this specific one. All right, so in this case, it requires Harbinger or Quasar. So it requires the Harbinger stuff or Quasar stuff. I don't have it. Harbinger or Quasar, Vigilante or Quasar, Vigilante, Thunderbolt or Quasar, sorry. Harbinger, so it's going to double back. So I have to, so if you'd have to get to this end, you'd have to have all these teams, and you'd have to have them, suit. Like at this stage, you're not going to be able to beat that. So where can you actually? How many stages can you possibly do? So I could do maybe. This is built hard. This event is built hard. This event is for people who've been playing a while. From what I can tell, I don't think I have any chance on this event. So the one I was playing to get the shards for Red Hulk, for Rogue, for Morgan, LaFleur, they were all easier. This is hard. So let me just see if I have. I don't think I can check it here. I have to go to the roster. I'll take a little bit of a break after this too. Let's see if I have. So we looked at that. We don't have a lot of these. So like I said, we're just getting back into the game. It is what it is. I'm not upset about this. There's plenty of other things to do, I think, in the game as well. All right, let me make sure. I have to Harbinger. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong here? Let's see if I can find it. I don't think I've. Did I misspell it? No. Harbinger? Harbinger? What am I doing here? What's the issue? I know what to do. Roster. I'll get to the recruit here in a second. Let me go down to. Where are you? You're considered a Harbinger, right? Yeah, right there. Well, I was spelling it right. I don't know why. I was spelling it. I had the initial part right. I don't know why they didn't bring it up. Harbinger. Is there? Maybe I'm just looking at the wrong place. Harbinger. 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 Yeah, right. I'm spelling it right, right? Roster. That's my bad. It's me clicking everywhere. Select filter. Chapter 1 Harbinger. Okay. So this is all that team. That's actually more than I thought. That's more than I thought. I'll be right back though. Okay. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Okay, so again, this is a so you can actually bring in the Fantastic Four, which I've kind of built some of these. It's not been a total loss to build this character. I have to build him up to at least one more. Let me do that right now. This was something I was doing already before that. I'm trying to make him, powerful enough to compete in that story mission. He's going to have to be 80 in order to do the next level. We're not going to do the next level yet because I don't want to make him any more powerful. He's not even achieved this rank, so I don't have to push him anymore. I'm not going to use any of my resources there. I'm going to keep him at that for now. Is it beneficial to put him to 17? Now that I could bring him in content, I doubt it. I don't think I can even compete in that event. I didn't even have any modifiers, but the modifiers might help me. We are going to try it, but I think we'll try it as is. Because, yeah, I'm just going to try that. Okay, so we got Punisher. I've been building... I think I had him previously, but obviously they've been retooled now for the new stuff. He can max out his green. Actually, this is blue. It's kind of hard to tell the difference at this rate. But this resource is very limited, by the way. I don't think I have enough either. I think this is the one I have to get in order to buy it. I don't remember exactly how this. Oh, the first one's free. I remember that. First one's free. Then it requires this currency to fuse, which we can do. But it's going to require more as we go further. And then it requires the other. So I can get the 3 without too much investment. Let's do that. It doesn't really hurt me in the end, you know? I have like 22 million, which is not an infinite amount, but it's a decent amount at this many, like 20K per. Yeah, I could probably justify this with almost every one of my things, and it'll give me a little bit more power, and I can upgrade, and it's using, again, that currency, which is 100K per, which is a lot. But I would recommend doing that, like that specifically. So I did that with this character. Perfect. All right, and this is part of the additional like aspect of the game to micromanage, which I don't mind. And there's going to be another one at some point. I don't know where they're going to put it in the UI, but they found a place for this. They'll find a place for that. It's kind of full now. Maybe they'll find a place. Maybe it'll be a separate thing that you have to go to. Hopefully not. Hopefully they don't make it too cumbersome. It's because I don't have the 5th one. I would upgrade that, but I don't have the 5th one yet. I probably will get it, and it's actually pretty hard to get them. You have to kind of like focus your attention. Again, I can get this one at 15. I might. And where are we at here? Again, this is the same situation as Human Torch. Let's do this. The same justification. Kind of wish they had a button to allow me to do this. Maybe they do. I haven't found it. To say, okay, I wanted that 3, and then just do it for all 3. There is some form of like satisfaction to click the buttons. Feels like you're doing something, and maybe that's on purpose. All right, let's get this to 3. All right, because this will be the team, right? And then maybe the thing, because I just got a lot of stuff for the thing. What's the thing at now? Can I upgrade the thing? No, not quite. But he's going to be at 6 stars. He's at level 1. Do I really want to level him up? Probably not. Probably not. So what do we have already? We have Juggernaut. Classic. When I played this game last, it was during Magneto coming into the game. And it was super hype, but I never could get Magneto because I just didn't have the right team. I was building up, the core force there, and it was very prohibitive. So I stopped. But I love this guy's design. I think it's super cool. And it's like, it's super real too. Like this game has a very interesting art style. You could say it's bland, but I don't think it is. For turn-based, it's not pixelated, so I appreciate it very much so. I've already leveled that up. Probably not the strongest. Again, I can go to like I can probably justify 70, but I'm not going to do any of that yet. I'm just going to see how bad I get smoked. Is there justification to bring her up? There might be justification to bring her up in a minute and him up for a minute. But that would be more than enough for my team, so I'm kind of have to... And I already did this, right? I've already done this? Yeah, I couldn't get him past that, so I'm going to wait on that for now. So we're good. So these 4 are like a lock, in my opinion. They just are. They're already built for the most part. And so now I have to think, which one would I build up more? You could say, well, Juggernaut's already there, but I don't know how the team synergy works. Probably won't work as good if I don't have some of the other versions of these, because they do get power bonuses for squads and stuff like that. They actually get stronger for squads and stuff. Let's see what we get here. I don't know why I don't know why that's claimed there. Raid completion reward for what? Oh, this is for the milestone, I believe. Which I don't know if we have that. Let me actually restart this and get them out. And let me see if the game's gonna give us that. I'm playing Game of Thrones Legends as well. Game of Thrones Legends, which is a my stream is Twitch and YouTube. My stream is lagging bad. Let me see what this says. So we load back into the game. Yeah, see, I'm getting a healthy amount. Oh, encoded overloaded again. Why does this do this? Why does my computer want to have issues? I should go with whatever the recommended thing is.